Good evening and welcome to the inaugural episode of Positive Perspectives. My name is Zach.
My name's Kim.
It is wonderful to hear all of you today because I presume I cannot see you. It is wonderful to have you here with us today. And if you don't know from our intro, you have way too much negativity in your life from other news sources. That is not who I'm going to be today. We are going to give you the best and brightest in news stories that are out there on the interwebs.
Everyone needs some positivity in their lives, especially with all the nonsense going on in the culture and politics. So, we hope that you'll take a break from all of that with us for the next few minutes as we go over some of the positive news stories we have found from recent history.
So starting off today, we are going to go to the BBC reporting out of India with an elephant calf being rescued from a well. We don't know how the elephant calf got into the well, but we know that it does end well. Let's start it right here. This poor guy, he's so stuck. He's stuck at the bottom of a well, and he cannot get out.
It was traveling with its herd during the night and fell in this hole and leaving it trapped.
Now, officials in a certain state in India dug into it, and the local fire brigade helped pull the calf up. This poor creature, he's happy to be out, and yet this poor thing. And
But they rescued it.
he
So
was
that's
rescued
awesome.
out of the bottom of a well. It looks like they got him going, and that is about everything that we have in that one. Starting off, it's an animal story. It's feel good. How can you not love this?
Continuing on, we have another article, also from the BBC, of more animals. The rhino numbers in Nepal are rising, that's exciting.
Yes. So apparently, the number of one-horned rhinos in Nepal's wildlife sanctuaries has increased by more than 100, marking a positive milestone in the Himalayan nation's conservation efforts. According to the results of the latest census, Nepal's rhino population has risen 752 from 645 in 2015. Nepal is among only a few countries where greater one-horned rhinos are found. The animal was close to extinction in the last centuries. Its revival in Nepal and India is regarded as one of the greatest conservation successes stories in Asia.
This is really exciting because it's always sad to hear about another species that died out, and so this is awesome that there's these animals are getting back on track, back on their feet, rising numbers.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's our job to take care of the earth, and so this is awesome news of a great effort being done.
It is wonderful to hear that, and I know I've always liked going to zoos and seeing different kinds of rhinos. Hearing that this kind is growing in numbers, it is amazing, and it's great to see that God's creation is being taken care of. So, let's go to another environmental news. Kim, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So, I believe this was from India, right? If you want to scroll down a little bit.
Yes, this is coming from goodnewsnetwork.com.
.org.
.org.
Yep.
Please excuse me, I don't know the
Yes, this lady in India, she has been using these recycled materials to create playgrounds for the children. Ant Hill Creations is a nonprofit run by Pooja Rai. I am so sorry if I mispronounced that. Located in Bengaluru. Just look at these pictures. This looks so awesome. Recycling old tires, making them all colorful, and those kids look
Guys, they
so
made a
happy.
dragon. They made a dragon. Or is that
I
an
think that
elephant?
looks like an elephant.
Okay, so apparently I don't know a dragon from an elephant. Apparently I have no idea what I'm talking about.
Oh, but look at those kids. They look so happy.
And does that not look a lot better than if they were just sitting in a landfill? It is amazing that we're able to take what was once trash and are able to make it into something that's
What's
and
that
great.
saying? One man's trash is another man's treasure. In this case, one nation's trash is one lady's creative inspiration to I don't know. This analogy is going off the rails. Let's go to the next story.
And continuing, staying in India, we have honestly a lot of this stuff is coming from India. It is fantastic that we're hearing about things halfway across the world that are going a lot better than is going right now. But anyways, Indian fishermen divert their catch of ocean plastic so it can be used to rebuild roads. Again, in the environmental line, we're talking about all of these different things in the state of
Kerala? Kerala, I think?
Kerala. It's known as the jewel of South India. Fishermen are taking it upon themselves to keep it that way and secure their livelihoods against plastic pollution. These guys know their way around this ocean and around every part of the sea, and they found a lot of plastic out there. They have been taking in a lot of this plastic, and they're trying to save, instead of just throwing it in the landfill where it would create more disgusting things, they decided to keep it, and they decided to use it for something else.
And I mean, I'm sure you've all seen those pictures of like floating trash islands in the middle of the ocean, or the poor sea turtles with straws stuck up their noses. This is a great way to get that out of the environment and put it towards something useful. I mean, I don't know about where you live, but around here we get a lot of potholes, and so it's nice that they're using something that is useless and turning it into something that has a use.
And it looks like they grind all of this plastic up and use it as a building material. It puts in the roads. It gives the roads resistance to a lot of the heat that's in India because and unlike here in South Dakota, it gets incredibly hot there. And it is wonderful to see that they're using something that has once been trash and turned it into something that is more productive.
And reading here, this project has collected 176,000 pounds or 80,000 kilograms of plastic and has turned that into 84 miles or 135 kilometers of road. That's pretty cool.
I didn't realize it was that long. Wow.
How far is 84 miles?
It's 84 miles.
Am I putting you on the spot?
It's
I'm not that good with distances. 84 miles is a lot, though.
It's about an hour's drive if you're here in the United States on a highway that's about 60 miles an hour. So it's about an hour's drive that they've made an entire road out of basically dredged plastic.
That's impressive.
But it is. So moving from the subcontinent of India, moving westward from India into Ghana, there are a bunch of different things. In these farmers, they produce about 30% of the world's chocolate, and yet they don't get a lot from that chocolate. They get about 1/5 or 1/50th of the profits from it. But that's not stopping some people. Some of these farmers are choosing to give tours of their facilities as opposed to just focusing on material output.
So the process of chocolate making, just to give a kind of brief overview, is these nations, such as Ghana, grow the cocoa pods and they export them to other countries such as the UK or Switzerland, etc., who turn the cocoa pods into the chocolate that we consume. The problem that they have is just the cocoa pods don't bring in a lot of profit. And so what they have decided to do, since it is very expensive to make chocolate and they don't have the infrastructure like the dairy farms or sugar farms to turn the cocoa pods into the chocolate product, what they are doing is they are giving tours of their
entire facility and their farms.
Farm. That's the word. I'm tired apparently.
Hey, tired. Anyways, they're looking at giving tours of their facilities, and that is giving them a whole different revenue stream as opposed to just focusing on the direct product output. Because according to the industry itself, the equipment to make all of this is very expensive, and if you're unable to produce it yourself, if you're unable to get the equipment yourself, there's a high barrier of entry. But when you have that equipment and you're also supplementing your income with these tours, it makes it a lot more. It makes it a lot more profitable for you. So moving over westward from Africa to the United States, we have another uh, we have
We're
another
kind of
story.
moving from the environment now into people and humanitarianism. Is that the word?
The word you're looking for is
Philanthropy?
philanthropy. Human interest stories. Let's go
There
with
we
human
go.
interest
Human
stories.
interest. Yep.
Anyways, there is a nearly retired couple adopt 7 siblings who just lost their parents. I cannot imagine. I have 2 kids of my own. I cannot imagine having going from no children to 7 children. I cannot imagine that, and especially after being nearly retired.
And on the flip side, 7 siblings, having them stay together, that is amazing. Because there's not a lot of families that would be willing to take in 7 new children all at once.
Let's read this for a little bit of perspective. While the prospect of an empty nest is bittersweet, most parents look forward to the uninterrupted couple time when their kids finally fly the coop. But for one California husband and wife, rather than cozy retirement, they found themselves feathering their nest all over again with 7 adopted kids. This all began in January 2019 as Pam Willis was scanning Facebook, and she says a post titled 7 siblings in need of a forever home hit her like a ton of bricks.
The story revealed that after the children's mother and father perished in a car accident a year earlier, the siblings had been placed in foster care. In that instant, their sweet, smiling faces jumped off the screen and into my heart, she posted to Instagram.
So long story short, she talked to her husband about it and knew right then and there that they wanted to adopt all of these kids. They wanted to know that these kids would not be separated, that they wouldn't be taken away from each other and put into different homes, like a lot of times happens in the foster care system. So they knew that they had the means, they had the ability to, they wanted to help these kids. So they got in touch with the foster care agency with all of these children.
And these siblings range from age 4 to 15. That is a wide gap. That is a huge commitment. And major kudos to this couple for taking these kids in. That is just, it melts your heart.
These guys, in my opinion, are heroes. They decided to open up their home after they worked very hard to get where they are, to have their empty nest and to have everything ready for themselves. But they decided to give of themselves for these kids, and these people are heroes in my opinion.
Absolutely. And that goes for anyone who chooses to adopt. It is such a great gift, a great commitment that that those couples do to adopt. It's fantastic.
Moving on into, admittedly, we're staying here in the United States for a while, but we are going to another.
This story comes from Fox News. A 6-year-old child named Nathan Herbert was diagnosed with stage 4 T cell non Hodgkin's lymphoma in 2018. That would be scary.
Yeah, if you're at how old? He was 6 years old, you said?
He is 6-year-old now.
Okay.
So in 2018, he probably would have been 3 or 4.
Oof.
We have a 3-year-old, and I could not imagine going through that with her.
Oof.
But he had his last dose of treatment, and his entire school cheered him on coming back.
So these guys, they were wanting to they sent him to treatment. These parents took him to treatment. They got him taken care of. His entire school, they loved this kid, and to give they wanted to give him a hero's welcome back home, and that's exactly what they did. As soon as he got his last treatment, his entire school came around and wanted to give him a welcome back. So, moving on to our next story. This is something that I personally think is amazing. I have been a nerd for most of my life, And the idea of having a pet dragon is amazing. This is phenomenal. I love the Make a Wish Foundation. These guys are amazing. They have done amazing things. Lots of people, for their Make a Wish, they ask for going to Disney World, which is amazing, for going to a bunch of different places. This kid, she is amazing. She asked for a pet dragon, and somehow these guys managed to pull it off. Kudos to you guys.
That is absolutely amazing. I would love a pet dragon.
Let's read a little bit of this. So this is out of the box, even for Make a Wish. These guys were given they saw a teenage cancer survivor get a trip.
Belle Cress is her name.
Okay, she was able to take the dragon home with her. She was asking to go to a castle and to be able to train a dragon. They built and designed a dragon, a marvel of engineering specifically for this girl. This is amazing. Make-A-Wish Denver teamed up with Arrow Electronics to create the robotic dragon, which Belle named Dusk. After the 14-year-old battled back from a rare form of bone cancer called osteosarcoma, after which she required several surgeries and 10 months of intensive chemotherapy. Excited like a feeling that I can't really explain in my chest. Sort of nervous, excited, Belle said to CBS, recounting the magic meeting. I've loved dragons ever since I can remember. So the initial meeting took place in virtual reality, and it was courtesy of a video created by Emerge Studios, which transported Belle into a fantastical place far, far away from where she first laid eyes on her dragon. First of all, that's amazing. I've only recently been introduced to VR, and seeing something like that is amazing. And after coming out of that would have been cool enough. But no, these guys decided to make an actual real life robotic dragon.
That is so cool. Shout out to Arrow Electronics for that.
Guys, you are amazing, fantastic, well done. I want to see more of this.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways,
Pet dragons for everyone.
Can I please? Please. Anyways, moving on to the next one. Kim, do you want to take this one?
Sure. So this one is also coming from Fox News. A 7-year-old with a life-threatening heart condition got to become a SWAT officer for a day. So the Chicago Police Department when is this from?
Not entirely sure. It was
April 19th.
April 19th. So this was a few weeks ago. So a few weeks ago, the Chicago Police Department partnered again with Make-A-Wish Foundation. These guys are phenomenal.
Shout out to Make-A-Wish. I didn't do that.
If you're wondering if you want to donate to a particular charity, the Make-A-Wish Foundation is a fantastic charity to donate to. These guys are amazing. Anyways.
So this 7-year-old kid is named Ibrahim from Worth, Illinois. He's got a life-threatening heart condition, and he dreamed of becoming a police officer to catch a luxury car thief.
That is oddly specific.
I know.
This kid, he has goals, man. This kid has goals.
I hope he gets a chance to grow up and realize those goals. That's awesome. We need more cops. We need more good cops in our lives to do awesome works like this. So this kid got a chance to train as a SWAT officer, and he got to run a drill where he traced down a luxury car thief. And just kudos to all of those involved, to the officers, to whoever was in that car getting arrested by a 7-year-old. Bravo to all of you.
Kudos to the Make-A-Wish Foundation and to the Chicago PD. Well done, guys. Very, very well done. So the next story, we're going to have more human interest stories, again from the Good News Network. An affordable housing landlord starts eviction fund and is shot. He raised $9 million and kept 3,000 families in their homes. This is from April 4th. So, when Margie Stagmeyer was 11 years old, she was a Monopoly champion of her 6th grade class in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's stop right there. If you're in sixth grade and you are a champion of Monopoly, you are going places in life.
I'm not a champion of Monopoly, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, it's never fun. Anyways, she knew right then and there that she wanted to be a landlord when she grew up, and she became a fantastic, compassionate landlord. I have rented for a good portion of my life. I have never had a ton of great experiences with landlords. Some are great, some are not. This lady is a fantastic landlord. She did an amazing thing. She wanted she wanted to she launched her own 501c3 nonprofit that provides free on-site services to families living in affordable apartment communities, and she has become a godsend for these families. It is called Star C, and it has become a godsend for these families. Almost 100 families have been elevated from renting home to home ownership because they've kept rents low so the families could save their money. This lady has helped these families become more than just renters. She's helped them become more than just. She helped them. She helped them with, and once COVID struck in March 2020, a lot of these tenants were laid off from their jobs and they had to manage multiple children that were suddenly out of school and at home. In Star C, they launched an ambitious $50,000 GoFundMe campaign for eviction relief, and the response, it was amazing. They also raised nearly $50,000 to add icing to the cake. The local municipal government of Cobb County, they found out about this, and they donated 1.5 million of their federal stimulus funding. Kudos to you guys that you did this. It's amazing. They ended up raising $9 million from both local governments and foundations, giving the ability to help 3,000 families avoid eviction. I can't speak today. They helped avoid eviction. It is fantastic that you guys are able to do this. Keep up the good work. Let's go to our second to last article for today. Kim, do you want to take this one?
Here's another feel good story. Well, I guess kind of feel good. It's sad. There was this terminally ill person, but they did a wonderful work by leaving a grand tip.
Not just a great tip, as in grand. No, $1,000 as the tip.
And paid for 2 other tables at this restaurant in Tennessee.
Okay, that's fantastic. So, long story short, this was in Tennessee. The staff at this restaurant, they were surprised and humbled when a customer was generous enough. At Berg Steakhouse in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, they're having a typical busy Saturday. They didn't think anything would happen. It was like any other Saturday, but this one customer came in and they stood out from the west. This person, you can see, look at this right here. It was only $59 that they paid. They left a grand tip.
$1,000.
Word.
$1,000.
It's nice to see people are being extremely generous. It's sad that this guy is terminally ill. It's sad that he has these issues, but he wants to spend it on other people.
But talk about making a mark, leaving a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
That is a great way to do it. This man helped those waiters at that restaurant. That's something they are never going to forget. Mm-hmm. And hopefully this story will encourage others to pay it forward. And he paid for 2 other tables. I know that's one thing. I hear stories a lot of time about, like, you're in the drive-thru and you pay for the car behind you and it just continues on. And it's just awesome to see things like this happen. It warms your heart, and this is a great example of just humanity coming together.
And in our last article, Kim, do you want to take this one?
So this is kind of, I don't know if it's really positive. It's more neutral. It's just a cool thing that has happened. A lost golden city was found in Egypt, revealing the lives of ancient pharaohs. I don't know about you. You're kind of into history and stuff. And
yeah,
it's cool when we find out about our ancestry, about the history of the world. And so this story comes from the BBC. there was a 3,000-year-old city that was lost in the sands of Egypt. Egyptologist Zahi Hawass announced this discovery near Luxor. This
So this city is one of the more wealthy cities that was in that time. It was about unearthed after weeks of excavation in September 2020. It dates to the reign
Okay,
of
yes. This
Amenhotep
was
III.
I was reading ahead a little bit. Yes, this was the largest ancient city, known as Aten, the largest ancient city uncovered.
Wow. So this is giving us a lot of insight into the way that things used to be, a way that the Egyptians used to live. This is about the second. Their a quote from the story: "The discovery of this lost city is the second most important archaeological discovery since the tomb of Tutankhamun." Betsy Bryan, professor of Egyptology at Johns Hopkins University in Baltimore, United States. She said the city would give us a rare glimpse into the life of the ancient Egyptians at the time when the empire was at its wealthiest. So I'm glad that you guys were able to join us today, and that you were able to spend your time with us. I want you to remember that there is good news out there, that there are positive things that can be said out there. And I want you guys to remember the one thing that is the most positive out there. God loves you. He came for you. He died for you on the cross, and he is offering you eternal life. It is wonderful to be able to provide you this service, but don't lose sight of the most positive thing on this earth, that Jesus loves you and he wants to give you the gift of his spirit.
Remember, there is always hope. There is always hope, and especially in Jesus Christ, there is hope. And if you have any stories that you would like to send in that you want us to share with the world, you can email positiveperspectives238@gmail.com. We'll have a link in the description. Thank you for joining us today.
Bye, guys. Thanks.